Well, usually what will happen is that John will come up with some kind of an idea, the initial concept, be that on the paper, be that verbally. He would bring something, and then the collaborative effort kicks in, and then we will start working on the look of the next line. And that is usually a fairly lengthy back and forth process where we're going on the paper, talking about things, going back on the paper, very slowly tightening up with the accurates, going from the very simple type of the sketch to a more and more detailed things. Even when we're going from the paper, when we already finished with the, what we think that we are finished with the concept, and we are doing accurates, and we are starting to work with the actual metal, like I'm here doing right now, we could still go back to the paper, because John is always trying to get the specific look that he wants. And when you're going from the paper to the metal, things change because you're going from 2-dimensional to a 3-dimensional form. And then when we are come up with the line, where we're already making a line, it can go through the factory at some point, and that's when we find out more issues, and it can come back here, because not only we have to make a first piece, it has to be reproducible. If everything goes smooth, then it just goes through the factory. If not, it'll come back here, it'll have to be reworked until such point where everything works well. So out of the very small piece, we have to make up the whole line. And so maybe some things will work for the earring, they might work for the necklace, they might not work for a bracelet. So this is where we have to go back and forth to find out what works, changing the line back and forth. So the initial concept might not survive in its purest form. It might go back to something else. Once we have a framework of the line, we will start working on the actual pieces in metal. Maybe make a couple of conceptual pieces in metal where we look at the form, where we look at the texture, and if that's satisfactory, we will start doing the whole line. And it could be at some point where I'll be working on several pieces simultaneously, because we want to see how that look transfers into the earring, into the bracelet, into the necklace, into the pendant. So I'm sort of roughing out all the pieces simultaneously, because that's sometimes an easy way to solve a problem that might pop up. When the original models are all finished, and there's enough of them to make mold, or several molds at that point, they will all start going through the process of multiplication. So they all have to be sunk in the mold, cast, cleaned, plated, all sorts of things. The stones might be applied right in the mold, or the chain might be applied right in the mold when we cast a complete piece, or they have to be glued on, or they have to be set in. It all depends on technology that goes into that line.